Hi friend, I am so happy that you are here with me today. We are going to be embracing the process of layering and playing with texture. I'm going to be using a corrugated cardboard as the base of our tag, and we're going to turn it into something truly beautiful, just like you. The base of the tag that I'm working with today is going to measure 3 inches by 5.5, but feel free to use whatever size fits your journal best. And just in case you don't already know, I'm Ingrid Carlsen, and this channel is dedicated to art and junk journaling, where we look for beauty in everyday things, sprinkle in a little or a lot of faith, and create beautiful things together. I would love for you to become a subscriber and also to ring that bell so that you get notified anytime a new video of mine comes out like this one. Also, if you enjoyed the video, I would really appreciate it if you give it a thumbs up. Today we're going to be using that DIY texture paste that we made in my last video, and if you haven't watched that, it's linked down in the description below. But before we get started, we need to prep our tag. I'm going to start off by just tearing off some of the top layer of the cardboard so that those lovely corrugated pieces are exposed, and then we're going to take some acrylic paint and paint over the whole tag front and back. Now, I do want to give you a little tip here. If you do not like the shininess of acrylic paint, you could always mix in a little baking soda and it'll give you more of a matte, rough texture. If you made some of the textured paste with me and you're using the Dollar Tree little containers, I do want to say I don't think they're completely airtight because my texture paste dried out just a little, but no worries. We're going to take our little mini mister and just spritz it with a few spritzes of water, and it's going to activate just like new. And remember to look for joy in little moments like this. Yes, at first it could seem like this is a tedious task to have to activate the texture paste again, but instead let yourself get whisked away by listening to the yummy sounds of the crinkling texture paste as you mix it. I wanted to take a minute and thank my patrons for their love and support. It means the world to me. I love you guys so much. And I wanted to leave you with a little tidbit in case you haven't been told today. You are strong, you are courageous, and you are a loved child of God. The texture paste gives this tag a soft, whimsical touch that feels like a daydream. It adds so much vintage charm and a heartwarming simplicity. I'm going to grab some sprays and spray down the tag to give it more texture and depth, and to infuse it with a little bit of vintage touch that feels like a sweet memory that's preserved in time. It feels like this is a tag that's been weathered and maybe kept in a dusty attic for a long time, and now we get to take it out and enjoy it. I've probably had this distress stain longer than I care to share. And do you have that where you buy a product and maybe you've seen it on a video, somebody used it and it inspired you to get it, and then it just never gets used? So today I want to encourage you to pull that thing out. Start with one thing at a time, pull it out and use it. And it's a perfect time to do it. Do a tag like this, pull it out, use it on the tag, whatever it is. I just adore the rich chestnut bronze color that these sprays give this tag, and it definitely takes it to the next level. The white was beautiful, and it just allowed us to add whatever color we wanted. And so here, if you want to make a tag that has beautiful greens in it, add the greens or blues or yellows, whatever your heart yearns for, that's where you should go. And I think this might be my favorite part. There's so much beauty in watching colors run together with water. Again, why watercolors have my heart completely. It reminds me of how life's moments flow into one another, adding such uniqueness to each of our stories. This project gives you the best excuse to stop, take a deep breath, slow down, and just enjoy the process. Pick the colors that speak to your heart, that make you happy, and just add some sprays. There is no wrong way of doing this. We are not looking for perfection. We are looking for contentment. This faux cobweb is like a soft whisper of texture beneath the papers. I'm so thankful to my friend Mari who let me know that this was available at Dollar Tree because I don't think I would have ever found it. It's definitely a great product to add to your collection. By building layers, that's where we build the story with the colors and the textures that is one more beautiful than the last. And I've said it before that errors are just learning points for us. And I think I learned my lesson on my handmade flowers. And I tried not to burn my fingers with my hot glue. I am synonymous for not being patient enough, waiting for it to cool off a little bit. But this time I did a good job. I even used a color pencil to push down the pieces. And the worst part is I even have those silicone little finger things as well as other tools, and I always forget to use them. Please tell me I'm not alone. I think one of the best or most useful projects, maybe my favorite project that I've ever made, is this ephemera book. And if you haven't caught the video for it, I'll have it linked down below. And it is such a lifesaver for me when I'm creating. It's so much easier to look inside of the book and pull pieces out instead of having them, like I did before, hidden in obscure places where they would get lost. My layering has a little bit of a method. So I like to have one of the people or paper dolls, and then I like to layer it with something that is either numbers or text in the background. And then on top, I usually like to add a sentiment or some kind of label. To keep things simple, I'm going to use my tiny attacher just to hold the pieces in place. I leave the little staple in, but really it's just holding the papers together so that I can then glue them down. Here I'm just punching 2 holes at the top to add some gold brads. The brads act as an anchor to anchor the top of the tag since there's really nothing up there and all of my design is down at the bottom. It also, of course, adds some glitz, which of course I love. To avoid my brads going over the edge, I just snipped them off with whatever these things are called. Plier cutters, wire cutters. I don't know. If you know, leave me a comment down below and let me know what it's called. I've already told you guys I'm not a jewelry person, but I have the tools. Every time that I use brads, I just get so much joy in my heart and I forget to use them. And I think that it just reminds me that the small details can anchor even the most whimsical creations. I'm loving this tag so much already with the fibers and the textures and the papers. It just looks like it's been woven with threads of love and nostalgia. I'm going to share with you guys a little trick that I like to do. To give my pieces some texture, I lay a bead of glue, let it dry just a little bit, and then I'm going to lay another layer of glue right on top. This acts kind of like a pop dot or a foam piece that gives my piece texture, or it lifts it up from the page, giving it more dimension. And it's a great alternative to having to buy those pop dots. Just make sure that when you are actually placing the piece down on your paper or your card or whatever you're working on, that you don't press down too hard and smush the glue. You want the glue to keep its structure. If you ever want to elevate any of your projects, this to me is a must do. I like to take some paint on a dry brush and then just run the brush along the edges of the piece. Make sure to skip some parts and make some parts heavier than others. This will give it more of an authentic feel. But when you look at this tag, once it's done, this definitely elevated it to the next level. I also made sure to get a little bit of paint on the brads. Now, I know that because the brads are slick, it's not going to necessarily hold on to the paint, but this tag isn't going to be handled very much, so I think it's okay. And I thought the tag was completely done, but then I remembered that I had all of those paper flowers that I made. And so I decided what a perfect place to put them. And it's going to sit up top like a crown. And of course, since this is a crown after all, we do need to add a little bling to it. So I'm going to take my glue gun and just add a little dollop of glue in the center of the flower, and then taking some seed beads and sprinkling them into the middle. It definitely looks like stamen, and it adds just the perfect touch to this tag. I'm just going to finish it off by adding a couple of dots of glue at the bottom and adding some beads as if the little pollen had fallen down into the bottom of the tag. And I absolutely adore the way that it came out. I wanted to take this time to thank you for being here. I know that you could be doing so many other things, and I appreciate you. I appreciate all of your comments and your love and your encouragement. I hope that today I was able to encourage you to go outside of your comfort zone and create something that maybe wouldn't come as second nature to you. And if you've been wanting to do a mixed media project but you didn't know where to start, this is a great, simple project that you can make within an hour, half an hour actually, and you won't have to be worried about too many techniques or too many products. We're keeping it simple yet beautiful. if you decide to share your creations on social media, I'd love it if you tag me so that I can rejoice in your happiness of making beautiful things. Until next time, I will leave you with the rest of the process and then the after shots showing the finished tag. I love you guys. Until next time, bye. Oh, and before you go, if this video brought a little joy to your day today, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. It's a small click, but it means the world to me.